All right, y'all. Today's video is more so to talk about. I mean, we had some nice highlights, but it's more so to talk about the playoffs. So, my predictions. Today's Sunday, so I already saw game one of what teams play yesterday: Nuggets, Lakers, Knicks, and Sixers, Cavs and Magic, and what was the last one? Oh, and Thunder. Timberwolves and Suns. So. My predictions this year. I'm going to go. Let's go to the Eastern Conference first. So, Celtics and Heat. I'm a Heat fan if you guys didn't know. That's my team. But this year, especially with Jimmy Butler being hurt, it's very unlikely that they win. They're about to play soon. It's 12-12 right now. They're going to play in like 40 minutes. But even if they were fully healthy, the Celtics actually look like a much better, much different team this year. They got Porzingis. He's kind of the key to the whole championship run this year. Like, if he gets hurt, they're pretty much done, honestly. Because then it's the same team that they had last year, except Al Horford's another year older. And that's pretty much the biggest difference between last year and this year is Porzingis. But, yeah, so I'm going to go Celtics. I'm going to go Celtics in 5. I think the Heat might get a game. But I don't really see, if the Celtics are fully healthy, they should pretty easily handle the Heat. If they don't, then that's going to change a lot of predictions in the future. But I guess for now, we'll go with Celtics. Next up, we have the 2-seeded Knicks versus the 7-seeded Sixers. Like I said, I already saw game one. Like, Knicks won, not by as much as I thought they might win, especially with Embiid being kind of iffy, hurting his knee again in the game. But I think the Knicks should win the series, especially with Embiid being. He looked really bad, just movement wise, not like scoring or anything like that. Literally just moving, he looked bad. Like, he would set a screen. I know he doesn't usually pick and roll a lot anyways, but like, he would set a screen and he wouldn't even really roll to the hoop toward the end of that game. He would like just set a screen and immediately just fade out because he doesn't want to like drive hard to the hoop. There were maybe like 2 times that he actually like, I don't know what's going on my internet, drive hard to the hoop, and then he actually either got fouled or like scored the bucket, which is good, but he would do it in such small amounts that I don't think it's gonna be able to last over a 7-game series. So I'm gonna go Knicks in 6. I think the home crowd and Maxey will be enough to win a game or 2 at home. So I'm gonna go Knicks in 6. Next up, we have the 3-seeded Bucks against the Indiana Pacers. That dunk was nasty. Wow. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I still want to take the Bucks. It's like really hard to pick because I don't know the status of Giannis. I know he's dealing with the calf injury. Like, if he doesn't play at all, there's still a chance the Bucks could win the series. It's very unlikely though, unless Dame kind of goes crazy. So I'm gonna assume that Giannis will come back at least by game 3. And if he's like pretty good, pretty solid, the Bucks I think can win that series probably in 6 or 7. I'm gonna go Bucks in 7. I don't know. I'm gonna go Bucks in 7. Next up, we got the 4-seeded. Which team's the higher seed? The Magic, I think. Yeah, 4-seeded Magic against 5th-seeded Cavs. Like I said, I already saw game 1. Cavs won pretty convincingly. I think the Cavs will win the series. I think they have more players with like playoff experience. They have Jared Allen. You got Donovan Mitchell, of course, who's been to Western Conference Finals and multiple like second round appearances. They just seem like they have a better grasp on the playoffs. The Magic, this is going to be a good experience for probably the next year. They do have playoff experience players, but their best players aren't like well versed, and that was a nasty ankle breaker. but their best players aren't really like playoff experience. So I'm gonna go Cavs and probably like. I mean, the 4-5 matchup's always tough. It usually goes long series, so I'm gonna go. I'll go Cavs in 6, maybe 7, but I'll say 6. Lock that in. Now Western Conference, we have the 1-seeded Nuggets against the 1-seeded Thunder versus the 8th-seeded Pelicans. Shout out to Pelicans for making the playoffs without Zion. That's impressive. But the Thunder should win that series very easily. I would say sweep, but they're another like young team, not much playoff experience. So the Pelicans will have probably a crazy Brandon Ingram or CJ McCollum or Valanciunas or Trey Murphy game or something like that. You know what I mean? So I could see the Pelicans. I want to say in 6, but I'm gonna say Thunder win the series. We'll say Thunder. We'll say Thunder in 6. I think they'll lose 2 games that they'll lose one of them that they probably shouldn't have lost. Hopefully it'll help them get even better. But yeah, we'll go with the Thunder in 6. Next up, we have the 2-seeded Nuggets versus the 7-seeded Lakers. Again, I saw the first game yesterday. The Lakers looked pretty good in the first half. I think they were up by like 12 points at one point. Nuggets took a timeout. After the timeout, it was just Nuggets just show why they're champs last year, and they just came right back into the game and tied it up and kind of back and forth, Lakers and Nuggets. And then by the end of the half, Lakers were only up by 3. At that point, I kind of already knew that the Lakers were going to lose. The Nuggets are just too good, honestly. I want LeBron to win another ring, but unless they can beat the Nuggets, it's not going to happen. I think this year is the last year that he has a really good chance of doing it. So I think it's over for that. But yeah, I'm going to go Nuggets in 5. The Lakers might get a game. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah. So next up we have the 3-seeded Timberwolves versus the 6-seeded Suns. Timberwolves won game 1 by 25, so that's really impressive. I would say super young team, but some of their best players have playoff experience. Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert have a lot of playoff experience, obviously, but definitely not their best players, like Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns. But Anthony Edwards looked really good. He played well, looked confident. He has that type of like play style and mentality and whatever, that he looks like someone that's not going to be affected too much by the playoffs and everything that goes with that. So, I mean, I think the Timberwolves will win. Their defense is definitely better than the Suns, that's for sure. And offensively, they can keep up. The Suns got to put a lot more pressure, I think, on Anthony Edwards to make Mike Conley and all those other players try to beat them more so. But I don't know if they have the defensive personnel really to do that. Their best defender is probably Kevin Durant, honestly. And he's not a on-ball defender like that. So I don't know. He's their best player defensively that gets a lot of minutes is what I mean. Like, they have better defenders, but Josh Okogie, he's on the team, right? I think he starts. I don't know. But yeah, I think the Timberwolves won that one in 6. I think the Suns will definitely get a couple games. Next up, we got the 4-seeded. Which team's higher seed? The 4th-seeded Clippers versus the 5th-seeded Mavericks, I think. Either way, it's a 4-5 matchup. It doesn't really matter. It's always a close series. It doesn't really matter who has home court. But Kawhi Leonard, most likely hurt, most likely out. Even though he joined Team USA, I don't really understand that. But I'm going to go Mavericks. They've been looking really good toward the end of the season. Getting Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington was, I think, a huge game changer. Their team looked so much better since they got them. Kyrie and Luka been playing well together. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Mavericks. He always plays well against the Clippers, and Clippers don't really have a home court advantage, so it doesn't matter who has home court. So I'm gonna go with the Mavericks, and yeah, they're ups with the playoffs for this year. That was good timing on the video. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think for round 1. I'll do the next rounds when they when they get to that point. But that's it for now. Peace.